there are many works that have been dealing to see what other things there is in the semen. And they have found that there is an ovulation-inducing factor in seminal plasma. And they have found that it is a potential stimulant of LH secretion. You all know that those are stimulated by coitus in order to ovulate. So there has been thinking that it is only a mechanical way to induce ovulation, but here with this work they have also found that seminal plasma also has this factor to induce or increase the LH secretion. And it has also a function on luteal gland development. And so we have a systematic route, not only locally. Okay, so this factor is a protein, and it has a dose-related effect. So we can use this technology either to increase artificially, if we could induce or come up with a protein or a structure that could have the same effect as this in semen. Okay, now we can also have the other effect using female stimuli. It works well on multiplious dose, and that means that whenever you have the dose in the same lines, they will induce themselves to synchronize their cycles, and it is because they share hormones like pheromones that will stimulate one to another. And this is mainly due to estrogens. So that also leads us to have a better management and use this called bud management or line management. Okay, now what are the new tendencies? Well, we know that we have a lot of pressure due to laws and welfare that have to do with animal welfare and also for human consumption. So that means that we have to avoid the use of hormones. When we do artificial insemination, we know that right after inseminating, we have to inject the female with hormones that have to do with GnRH or the synthetics. So we also have to take care to avoid the use of antibiotics. So nowadays, the semen processing farms, they are including hormones and they are including antibiotics to have a safer environment for the sperm. But now we have to use more natural ways for stimulation and culture of media for artificial insemination. Okay, so there are many research groups who are working hard on finding basic information. So at the ovary, they have found all the proteins and many particles that are present at the fluid, and they all have some effect on the follicular growth at ovary level. At the testes, they have also found that there is a secretion which could be used as a washing medium and a sperm selection. The same happens at the oviductal level. They have worked to study what type of secretions are present and what are their function at the female level, and also that has to do with the fertilization time and also with the embryo development. There are also many things that are being secreted by the uterine fluid that have a high influence on the embryo development. So the researchers are working a lot on this, and they have gathered a lot of information, but there is so much that we do not know of that some of them thought that it could be useless to spend all their time finding a protein, for example, and then going through all the work to see what it will work on. So now, due to these tendencies that I mentioned before, they are now collecting the fluids, the natural fluids. So they are collecting fluids from the ovaries, from the follicles, they are collecting the fluids from the testes, the oviduct at different levels, but also they are timing that when the gametes get together, there is a special type of fluid being secreted. After some hours, when the embryo develops, the environment changes, so it will give more nutrients to the embryo, as well as in the uterus. The environmental will change so that it will nourish the new developing embryo. So what this company is doing is to obtain the fluids at different times and different levels, so that this will enrich the medium that we can use for artificial insemination and also for embryo producing in vitro conditions. So they already have at the market selling all these different fluids, but they are selling for pig processing embryos and also for bovines. So now they are working to obtain these natural fluids, oviductal fluids, uterine fluids, and sperm processing media for rabbits. So this is what they are working on to have these ready for the market. So that's a very good thing. And the thing that they have is that they guarantee the purity of these fluids. They guarantee that they will not cause any hazard. They have to be hormone free, and they don't have anything added such as antibiotics on it. So that's the tendency. Now, about semen extenders that we are naturally using, we know that they contain a lot of things to protect the sperm. They have GnRH or their synthetics, but we can also include the ovulation-inducing factors, either obtained naturally or synthetically. They are also putting in those diluents some caffeine to improve the sperm motility, and they are also including some cell protectors such as antioxidants. However, we have seen that the use of antioxidants has caused some type of cell damage. So we have to change this to the use of more natural sources. So that's why on sperm cryopreservation, which is the newest thing that we can introduce into the rabbit producing, because we are using actually semen diluents to use it in fresh, but some of them can be used in low temperatures as low as 4 degrees, which is the natural refrigeration processing. However, cryopreservation is not widely used because more than 50% of the sperm die due to the all steps that have to do with cryopreservation, as well as the post-thaw process. So we have using these sperm extenders to provide antioxidants and other type of enrichment, and we have to use more natural extracts so that we can guarantee that the sperm will survive without using those synthetic cryoprotectors. So we are using plants such as this, which is called Chenopodium. Its common name is epazote in Spanish. I don't know if you use it here in Brazil. We are using Rosmarinus. These two plants have a lot of properties. They are used in the gastronomy. So we use them for flavoring, but both of them have natural properties such as being antibiotics. Some of them are used as anti-parasites, and they are well known to have large amounts of antioxidants. So first we have to use them in different levels to see that first they don't damage the sperm structure. So after that, we are trying to induce them into the semen extenders, and we have obtained a high prolificity levels similar to the ones when we use natural breeding using these Chenopodium extracts. Now we have found another plant which is called Kalanchoe. I don't know if you are using them here, but it has been used because they think that they also have antioxidant properties, but they are also using it to fight against cancer. So we really don't know what this plant will do on sperm, but we can begin to use it and see first that it doesn't damage the sperm through structural studies. Okay, now we go back again to the nutrition, and we can find that there are many plants that could be used because they have phytoestrogens, so we can use them through feeding. So many plants are rich in phytoestrogens, and we can have them as a forage or directly in seeds, or many other are being used as a phytoestrogens extracts. But we are thinking about giving them either naturally or by aqueous solutions. So we have many plants that could be used, and we have to study on them to see the dose effect, because as we can see in the previous talk, they talk about the amount given to the rabbits could also be toxic. So we have to take a lot of care on doing that. And we can study also about the physiological stage, either of the plants that will be used, and also on the dose, which of those animals will be the better candidates to use these extracts. So we have to work and see if we can have the same effect in nulliparous versus multiparous dose, and what we can reach is to have estrous synchronizations to the use of these phytoestrogens in plants. Okay, so that's all of this presentation. I thank you a lot for your attention. Are there any questions?